Hello. I watched the first 3 episodes of Starfleet Academy, so you don't have to. I guess you can, but this is technically the you don't have to version, right? I'm going to try to talk a lot about what's going on in the first 3 episodes to an extent, just kind of hit off all the points. I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of videos on this. I've already kind of had a little bit of a video on this with Critical Drinker and love the comments, reviews on that. It was great. Got a good support from that. But let's be honest here. We need to kind of dig a little deeper into the new Star Trek 60-year anniversary celebration because this is what they thought would be good. This is what they thought would be like, yes, this is the great mark. We'll give them a new show and a new timeline, kind of, sort of, and we can have new characters for them to get introduced to. Because, look, I'm being 100% authentic here. I'm not trying to change my take because we need to be real, because the current state of the overall franchise is not looking too good. I was actually looking forward to this new characters, a new era, but after all of the first 3 episodes, I could say it's generally one of the worst pieces of Star Trek I have probably ever watched. I don't want to say garbage, and it's probably disrespectful, but it's probably leaning on those lines. And it's honestly not even recoverable. I watched this so you don't have to, but it's some mentioned in the comments that the hate watchers alone might guarantee this thing's a second season, maybe even a third season. They're probably right on that one, which is probably the saddest part of the whole thing. I stuck around out of the curiosity more than the actual appealing side of it, but it's hard to stay invested when the show starts treating the audience with some blatant disrespect.
I strive to be first in each endeavor. Every day brings a new opportunity to prove myself.
Part, right? The cool girl principle and the TNG comparison. There's a concept called the cool girl principle. The show pretends to be one thing using Paul Gametes, Giamatti's. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna butcher these names. Let me just tell you right now. These names will be butchered. Sorry for it. I know all the Star Trek. Trek, not track. I know I got flack last episode for that. Sorry, guys. Trek. I'm going to get better at it. I loved it, though. It was honestly fair critiquing. I needed it. But Paul Giamatti's high-caliber scene in episode 1 to lure you in. But once he vanishes into episode 2, the true colors come out. People often point to the first episode or the first season of Next Generation being rough, but there's a massive difference, and early TNG still felt like Starfleet, my opinion.
Make it so, Mr. LaFord.
But it still, at least when I watched it, was like, yeah, this is Star Trek. Oh, I did it. It's tracks. Yeah, I said it. Star Trek. Get in there. Sorry, guys. Maybe it'd just be the accent or just how I've pronounced it. It's probably wrong either way, but yeah, so this is overall, when I was still watching The Next Generation, I was like, yeah, this is what it should be. The military, the characters are authentic. I didn't feel like there was anything too crazy that was like revolutionarily different, right? Like it still kept to the core principles of the show. It had professional atmosphere, a sense of wonder. This show, on the other hand, feels a bit like a bait and switch. We thought we were getting prestige sci-fi drama. I know from the trailers it like came hit or miss. At least in episode 1, the tone was like, okay, we're gonna get kind of like a Star Trek style out exploration. I know it's an academy base, and I kind of figured it would be in space. I didn't think we would go to San Francisco right away, I'm gonna be honest with you, but makes sense because that's where the academy used to be, so they want to go back to that. Fine, fair enough. But this honestly felt like a Disney Channel original movie with some insanely awful musical score and terrible humor aimed at children. It's cynical way to treat a legacy brand, my opinion. The war on men and the smirky girl boss. The show is absolutely obsessed with the girl boss narrative, and it really is. It's bad.
Back to your classes, now!
Like, guys, I normally try not to be this guy because I know there's a group of people who just hate anything that a woman's in, right? They just hate it. And I'm genuinely not trying to be like that. But the narrative at this point, it's more than obvious. Multiple times, multiple scenes, and I'm probably going to talk about it a little bit later, there was like a moment where a character or a male character couldn't figure something out, and then the female comes in and saves the day every time. Like, and they make that point abundantly clear. Go ahead, take my comment, say all the fucking words you want to say, whatever you guys want to politically correct yourselves in the comment section, go ahead and do it. But it genuinely is. Like, I'm like, every guy is not capable. You took the main character who was this supposed to be edgy, serious, kind of like, tough guy, bad boy look, and then you just made him like a punchline for the rest of the 2 episodes. And he's supposed to be like the main character we're like kind of loving. But at the same time, they all kind of share this like main character syndrome. That's the way I kind of like to describe it. It's like, yes, we know he's the main character, but but the way the show's written, it's like all these people are just like, here's a scene time, here's a scene time, here's a screen time. We have to focus on you. Like, it's just too much. Like, we need to strip it down. If you can't handle all these excess plot points, then you got to make it more simpler. You got to. Let's see. The narrative expense of its male leads. Take Darum Remy, who was shown training early on, working hard, only to be immediately outdone by Genesis, the smirky girl boss, who exists solely to diminish his efforts. Then you have Caleb Murr, was it Murr, Meyer, whatever, set up as the hardened criminal, kind of what I was saying. In episode 1, only to be reduced to the goofiest person alive and figure of ridicule. By episode 2, every male character is portrayed as either bumbling, mentally unstable, or a pawn, while the women are written as flawless and superior. It's a constant forced narrative that feels more like a lecture than a story, and it's exhausting to watch some tropes repeated every 10 minutes. Now, I have an organized list here of my thoughts just so I can like say them more in an order. But that's just a typical, like, honestly, this feels a lot like 2018. When I was watching it with my brother, and by the way, I couldn't get him to watch more than 5 minutes of it. I mean, really, I had to sit him down and watch it. My other buddy could hardly make it past the second episode. He was dying. Like, he was like, please turn this off. Because this felt so much like it was 2018. Like, the way the writers were, it's like, did we not grow here? Did you guys not just, and I'm going to talk about some of the other franchises later, but have you not seen some of the other flops in gaming, media, that's just been happening with your agenda-based movie and politics? It's not working. You guys just need to stop. Understand that these characters are what they are. The show is what it is. Star Trek, military, scientific, exploration. That's what it is. And you didn't have any of that. Now, fine, you guys wanted to have it as academy. Show me the military academy. Show me the Starfleet Academy. This is supposed to be the best of the best. These are the people in the universe who will protect you, who will explore and seek out new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before. That doesn't seem like it with this team, at all.
We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
So the death of logic, Sam, replicators, and wheelchairs. The lack of internal logic is this writing is staggering for the show set in the 32nd century. Sam, why is the student hologram doing physical training? She's a computer program. She doesn't have muscles to build or lungs to strain, yet she's shown sweating and huffing like a cadet. Yeah, they just don't, look, I'm not going to make someone's, like, overall, I'm not going to attack their physical appearance, but I would allude to that more than the actual robot. But at the same time, like, you're going to be cast in a show, movie, like, we know they didn't tell her, like, hey, you're going to have, they know it's actors, like, hey, you have to drop some weight. Like, you have to fit role, drop some weight, look more athletic. They did not tell these people at all. Like, you want me to believe that these are Starfleet's best? Like, the men that were writing this show, the men and women were writing this show back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s were all World War II vets. Most of them were. So these guys had experience, and they were pretty much putting their personal experience into the writing the show. That's why we kind of got this feel and this vibe, and they kept authentic to the material. Put their experiences, and that's why Starfleet feels so much like military, is because of who the people were writing this stuff, who the people were creating all this, and were making all this lore and history. Totally thrown out the window. Totally thrown out the window. And like the wheelchair part, I had to specifically point out because, again, nothing against people who are disabled. It happens. It's a part of life. But you want me to believe in like the 32nd century that we don't have a solution to this? or something like that. Like, we're so advanced. We are literally exploring space. We've developed warp capability. We can use black hole technology like the Klingons. They do that. We can do all this technology work, right? We can heal everyone's diseases and things immediately. But we can't fix someone's legs? And they're going to be in Starfleet? Like, we're in a future where medicine is supposed to be cure disease, yet the character in the wheelchair and the world transporters and advanced biogenetics is glaring inconsistencies purely for the sake of modern optics. That's what it is. Replicators, they literally replicate the cups in one scene, but then the characters act like they have poured coffee into it manually. The writers don't even have an understanding of the basic technology of the universe that they're writing for. The whole replicator stuff just doesn't make sense. Like, how I imagined it is I literally, like, I want a McDonald's cheeseburger and fries and a drink. There it is. I just grab it. I want a Yingling beer. Boom, Yingling beer. Like, stuff like that. I don't expect it to, like, I have to pour my own drink. I think they just did that because the writer's like, guys, we can write this, like, edgy cafe stuff. Like, oh my god, just like Portland. What is it? The Rednicks and glasses. We had technology to fix vision for 900 years in Star Trek lore. Why are we wearing 2025 style glasses, style hip-hop frames in the year 3000? Or whatever the fucking timeline is. It completely breaks immersion because you want me to believe that this is advanced, right? This group is the most scientifically advanced people we have available, right? Like, these are the top cadets. These are the top Starfleet Academy, right? It just doesn't make sense. Kirk had it. Kirk had, I guess, Kirk had a genetic. He was allergic to the surgery or whatever. Okay, so 900 years from that point, you're telling me there's been nothing at all? So this is actually, someone in the comments section brought up some of the lore stuff that I wanted to bring up. And this is helpful. It really is. So I want to bring some of this up. I'm going to pronounce probably most of these, at least, Sharon, the Charon, the Sharon? God, I know Star Trek fans. Trek. I said it. I said Trek. Don't get mad at me. Trek, not track. See the difference? During the captain's speech, we see a black and white face, Sharon. They were explicitly stated to be extinct in the original series. Unless someone, I don't know who, some mad scientist, some other people, and maybe the Klingon, I don't know who fucking did it. Someone apparently did a revive button, maybe changed the history of it, rewrote it. I don't know what they did, but they shouldn't be there. But maybe they were lost in some one little planet in like a cave back there, and they had some like scraps to survive.
To do, but honestly, it's impossible.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not Tony Stark.
I don't know how it works, but that person alien should not be there. The Klingon and Hadar hybrid, this is legitimately an impossibility. I've actually looked into this because I was like, when someone commented in it, I was like, I kind of have to I'm just curious. Hadar, I know people are going to hate me, are sterile, genetically engineered males created for war. There are no females, period. This is basic lore. Like I said, I can't even say the names. I just had to do a search, and someone even told me it. And it's like, yeah, no, that checks out. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm not. By the way, guys, I don't have to know all these names. I'm not $1 million writer, right? Like I don't need. I'm not making money from this. This is all just for the love of the game, me ranting. But how do these writers fail one basic little thing? How? That's the part I don't understand. They just fail at basic 101, like research, look into things. Just like you can even ask ChatGPT to be your Star Trek lore thing for you if you really need to. If you don't want to sit there and read countless articles. I get it. You guys don't want to take the time to do that. But you guys didn't even try, and you're getting paid to do this. And then we got the burn logic. The burn is something I talked about in like the last episode a little bit, but overall I hated it. I don't like the entire idea of it. it's a because this show's a sequel to Discovery, so many people didn't watch that, so then you're throwing in this extra thing that you have to explain to everyone, like, because most of your people probably didn't watch that Discovery, so you have to take time out of the episode to explain what the fuck's the burn, so people understand the burn. It's dumb. It's stupid. It claims that the burn stopped war travel 100 years ago, right? Because that's what we know. That's nonsense, right? It's stupid. The Romulans used micro singularities, black holes, for power. So they wouldn't have been affected by the dilithium storage. There was other avenues that they could have done. There was other things they could have done. They didn't have to focus. And I believe even at the time, like the Federation also recognized that like we can't just go one source into this, and they're looking around to kind of figure like that was all kind of like there from when I was looking up reading into this, that like it's weird how they just did dilithium and they said let's make this a huge catalyst for how the Federation get totally nuked. It just seems like instead of them wanting to write and keep accurate to the Federation's history, it was easier to pretty much destroy the Federation and reset it. That's pretty much what they did, and that's what Fallout did with the NCR. Because that wasn't their character or their thing, they said, let's nuke the NCR, and then we don't have to worry about writing it. We can just throw in little bits and pieces for the fans. And that's what this seems like it really is, or any of this new modern Star Trek. It's not familiar. It doesn't, it's like now when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is Star Trek. Trek. Getting better, guys. This is Star Trek. But at the same time, I'm watching this new stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea. Like this... It just seems like it's whatever 2025 or 2024 is saying and happening, and they just take the modern day times and throw it in there.
We get our room assignments.
Never had a room?
We share them.
Like with others? That's the definition of
Roommates.
fascism.
This show is abundantly thrown in with millennial dialogue, and it's so annoying. I get it. You're trying to... What's the word I'm looking for? You're trying to resemble, you're trying to relate to whatever the modern day lingo is, and this isn't even me attacking millennials in particular. This is just what the writers are doing. They're not being respectful to the time. This is what, the year 3000 or whatever the fuck it is, and we are still at a point where they're using 2025 lingo like the whole time. You guys take a doctor from Voyager who's literally like known for being super smart and has a really huge vocabulary. I like to say the big boy words, right? And he has to find some roundabout way to make it seem like, oh, how can this guy from Voyager who was able to pretty much speak eloquently, and now you have to dumb down his vocabulary. And I think they said something like, I think they briefly mentioned that it was like, oh, he like installed with like the modern lingo at the time to like connect with people, and it's just like, what are we doing here? So you're telling me the writers can't even take 5 seconds to open up a dictionary, thesaurus, Google, and like find just a few big words tossed. This is Star Trek. You're supposed to make me feel intelligent. Like you're supposed to make me feel like, yeah, I'm hearing some guy talk about like quantum mechanics, and I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, you're supposed to, like, I can, like, figure shit out a little bit, guys. Like, you don't got to dumb everything down. Like, and that's why I feel like a lot of this shit has happened with the modern media. It's like, they dumb everything down. It's like, you can make me feel like I'm somewhat intelligent and I know what the fuck you're talking about. I may not always, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. But they do it in a way because they know everyone's going to be on their cell phone. They know people are going to be, which I'm not going to lie, like part of the episode I just had to, because it was so painful. It was genuinely, this is one of the most painful watches I've ever done. And I was like, I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea for me to be like, let's make a video out of this shit. I don't know who in their right mind thought it'd be good. And I try to always refrain from using the word woke, but I don't really see how you can't use it in this situation. Like, the dialogue is straight up just woke nonsense that makes it feel dated the moment it's spoken. You have 36th century officers and Romulans using millennial dialogue like dude for the win, and ever cringe inducing insults like tiny fish stick. It's completely destroys suspension of disbelief. And the music, yeah, if you guys don't know, there was a whole music dialogue. it's a constant oh no, I guess I'm in this point I'm not referring to the musical thing, but I guess maybe I am. It's a consistent distracting background mess that sounds like a teen comedy or cartoon. Blasting 20th century pop music while descending into San Francisco feels like a bad travel vlog rather than Starfleet mission. See, I'm pretty good when I write this stuff out. It's as if the show is embraced to be a sci-fi and trying to be a CW drama instead, if that makes sense. Like that's kind of what I got. Did I not add it in here? I should have. I'll talk about it this part. There was a whole musical scene, like in the third episode, where the doctor from Voyager was like, I want to invite you to my musical. I'm going to invite you guys to everyone, please come to the musical or the opera, whatever the fuck it is. And it was a whole Mozart scene. You know, I think it was Mozart is what they were playing. And I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I just wasted my whole time watching people play. I almost said tag, but no. What were they doing? They were doing because I'm on camera. You're really gonna do this to me. Wow, this should not. Why am I brain farting? Because I'm on the camera. Episode 3, Steve. What were they doing? Duh, you know it. You watched it. Prank war. Jeez, I don't know why it took that long. Holy crap. The prank war shit was just stupid. It was dumb. We wasted a whole episode on her trying to show this little stupid plant and like, here you go. And the guy's like, oh, this plant's really stupid. And
This is the single dumbest idea I've ever heard.
How is this strategic?
But it's like this stupid plant scene where he's like, oh, like what do you mean this plant's going to do something? And like the plant mimic him. And it's like, this is like one of the main prank things that they use to like get back at the other people, because the military side of it, I think it's called like the military school, military academy, whatever it was, they did a prank on the Starfleet recruits and like teleported them like when they were all in the locker room. Just like, what are we? At points I forget. Am I watching like some like high school show? Or am I watching Star Trek? Like I don't know which one's which. The show fundamentally misrepresents Starfleet Academy is supposed to be. It depicts an institution and places focus on empathy, patience, and inclusion. It feels like a charity or boarding school for lost youth. Starfleet Academy should be an elite competitive university that selects the best of the best to lead the Federation. Instead, we get this virtuous reflux empathy, because I think that's one of the episode names, empathy plant that mimics voices as a parrot, like I said, for a prank war against the war college. That's what it was, the war college. I think what did I say, military college? Yeah, the war college. These aren't future leaders. They're just kids playing gotcha games while the galaxy's in shambles. It's a total trivialization of the high stakes Star Trek we are used to representing or used to seeing. The Orville factor, and this is what I mean. I don't think people like want to acknowledge this enough, but this show feels like the same path as Doctor Who, Star Wars, Marvel. They force a narrative, they swap roles, and then they insult the fans for saying, if you don't like it, you aren't a true fan. And this is why Orville kind of was successful in a little bit, because it was supposed to be like Star Trek in idea, and then also have this comedy side to it, which is what I feel like this show is really trying to mimic. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the inspiration that comes from this is from that show. Just makes more sense to me. And I just don't see how. I don't see how when I look at a show like Orville now, and I'm like, yeah, this is better than Starfleet Academy. Orville definitely felt more like Star Trek than this, because now I've been doing that all episode. Now I'm thinking I'm all mental about it. Thanks, guys. This does because it handled the comedy side with a sci-fi actual heart, with the actual heart and respect to the genre. When you treat your core audience with disdain, they don't fight back. They just stop caring, which is exactly what's happening. Empathy is a brand killer. Seeing legendary actor like Paul Giamatti stuck in this honest mess is a tragedy, because he easily could have been used better with better writing.
Oh, when you lie to me, Captain, I'll admit
This is a political messaging dressed up in Star Trek uniforms, and it's a final nail in the coffin. It could be. I mean, there's plenty of scenes and opportunities where they talk about social justice change and all these little moments. And I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be throwing them in to the video or not, but it just got to a point where like this felt like we were talking about like 2025 Minneapolis events and things that were happening in the just in their same just non-schlop cycle. Like there's so many little political messagings about the wall. Like there was this whole thing about the wall and how a country couldn't defend itself because what happened is the Federation was like, look, we need you guys to get rid of the wall if you want to join the Federation. Well, you got to get rid of. We can implement troops in your town, and we can like be there, even though you guys have like PTSD and we haven't been apart for 100 years, and we're not going to talk about the economic side effects from that civilization leaving the Federation and being totally separate to begin with. But regardless of all that, you guys decided to just make this whole thing about a wall and the fact that this wall is the big bad enemy. Maybe I'm reading into it, to be fair. You never know. But I just kind of sat there, was like, this just seems like such a weird thing for the Federation to be like, no. Because like the Federation would want these planets to relatively defend themselves. I don't see the Federation being like, you got to get rid of a wall. It's consequential and not to the whole deal. Like if you guys left, the burn happened, the Federation were absent, why wouldn't these people have the option to at least like have a security or something that they defended themselves with for the 100 years? Now you're like, oh yeah, get rid of it because we can defend you. No, you can't. There's no form of this Starfleet that can do that. And that just one of the points that I can just keep talking and keep bringing up random things that keep annoying me. But I see, I'm already wasting 26 minutes of your life even talking about this shit. My honest take, I didn't really try to hold back, to be honest with you. I felt like fans deserve better. This is just straight lazy. The lore breaking is garbage. If you're tired of these forced narratives, the smirky girl bosses, the total disrespect to just the original author's vision, this is not what I would recommend for you at all. Probably give it a 0 out of 10. And you guys think I'm being nice. It's genuinely, fine, maybe I'll a 3. There may be some things I liked about it, but I genuinely didn't like it. Like, I was thinking about giving it a halfway point, like, you know, make an episode like this, watch a few more, talk about it some more. I just don't have any interest. This whole show, the whole thing, it just really killed it for me. It really did. And now we're going to sit here and waste our time reading through some Reddit comments, kind of just see, God knows what we're going to get on here. We only know. Alright, zoom this in. Yeah, definitely zoom me in, Scotty. Alright. So we got some things from Twitter. We got a few little tabs I just want to look here. I'm not going to try to read all of it. I just kind of want to get it a little feel because I'm sure I'm probably on the hating side, and if I can know Reddit, we're probably going to see the opposite opinion. Let's see. What's this person say? Let me start by saying I'm a Trekkie, hardcore, not a gatekeeper, but I towed the line. I watched Starfleet Academy with an open mind, realizing I'm older. Star Trek needs to reach younger audiences, and on. I gave it a chance, watched the first episode. I'm all in. I have an understanding of what they want to do, where they want to go, and I'm here for it to be successful. I wanted to be a gatekeeper, but I found myself falling back into belief that we can be better. Star Trek, at the least, shows an example of that we can be better. I don't know. Is he talking? Did we watch the same show? Oh, and at the end, I see the black and white and black face, and I teared up. As a black man who watched Star Trek with his mom many years ago, this episode is special to me. I mean, hey, I'm okay. I'm not going to diss someone's emotional connection to it. I'm just going to let that point sit there. Let's go where no one else has gone before. Together, update. I appreciate all the comments. Just wanted to articulate my journey and feedback and good, neutral, critical, and welcome. Okay. Auto moderator. Oh. Just shows how much like little knowledge of Reddit I actually have. I was like, what? All right, let's see what we got here. I liked it right away, but I was all in when the doctor started singing opera. I was all in when he asked for a medical tricorder. Yeah, that was funny. I know that was like that. That's why I said maybe a 3. Like there was moments like that where they do a little homage stuff, and I know that's a famous scene. So it's cool that they did it. I just wish they didn't do it in this show. I wish he was somewhere else, in a better part of Star Trek. Um, Yes, it was very funny. I have to agree with my dad, though. I swallowed my badge bit is too absurd. How, why, and why is that person? How is that person smart enough to be in Starfleet? Even this person who liked all the bullshit literally said, "Why did the badge person eat their badge?" Like that whole character is just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Why is it even there? I don't know. They're not an academy. They're not an academy to become Starfleet. You do realize how incredibly hard it is to be admitted to the academy, right? Wesley didn't even get in the first time. Yeah, that's a great point. It took him a little bit. To be fair, I mean, I know his dad was the captain or former captain before Jean-Luc. But yeah, no, I guess yeah, that's a great point. He didn't even make it on the first time. He was an acting ensign on the fleet flagship that was actual Enterprise and was a genius. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was a great little add point into the series because it kind of gave him like a little bit of like he's a part of Starfleet, but he's not. So you can kind of like he doesn't. He's still like he's growing. We kind of saw him grow up in the show a little bit, which I thought was kind of cool. That was really cool. The writers have written it like this before. It's just a college with the usual idiots and morons instead of an elite paramilitary academy. Yeah, that's a great point. This seems like it's just a bunch of college kids going to bullshit. Like, genuinely, these people are probably just a bunch of liberal writers who sat there and were like, yes, we can write about our experiences. This is going to be so great. Everyone's going to love it. Like, oh my God. Something that I want to bring up that I don't, now that I'm remembering it because I'm doing the stupid voice. Let me see. Yeah, for some reason I didn't add it into my script. The amount of foot scenes that we have to see, like I know this is just 180 right now. Oh my God, I guess the director probably has, or someone in that room has a foot fetish for sure. Sorry, that's just what it is. I mean, my God, how like there's a whole barefoot scene that the captain's just walking around like, oh yeah, like I don't really have to do this. I don't have to listen to anything. I'm blah 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 blah. And she's thinking she's being all Miss Smarty Pants. She's just walking around barefoot.
Yeah, I heard that. I just don't like wearing them if I don't have to.
In all seriousness, it's unsafe. You could.
Stub my toe, get a splinter. I signed the waivers.
It's some random social change point. That's the thing, is that they made these random moments of the show just to incorporate some political messaging to make themselves feel better. It's really kind of disgusting, in my opinion. It's just at this.
Sometimes I just need to let the little piggies out to pasture.
A military captain, and she's going to be walking around barefoot, and she said, her little piggies out. I think she said in the show. I like to say dogs out, but her little piggies out. In fairness, this after the burn, there are only 24 Starfleet ships in total, and the Academy was shut down for decades. Most member worlds seceded, most world governments underwent radical change and were overthrown. The Federation, a reviving institution, and Starfleet hasn't really shown that it has the ability to be an institution as it once was, so there would be a healthy skepticism about joining up again compared to before. That's a fair point, actually, and I'm going to agree with that. There is technically like a whole image issue now with Starfleet, with the Federation. I just don't think the people running it are good at all. Like, my God, they're horrible. They just don't know what they're doing. It's bad. If that's your academy, my God. You guys ain't training soldiers of war. The Klingons will win no matter what. The cream of the crop would simply have apparently been opportunities elsewhere at this point. The old guard are elite, but the truly unbelievable thing would be of this new iteration was magically up the old standards right off the bat. Yeah, that could be an interesting twist. That maybe it's supposed. I don't think. By the way, guys, that's giving the writers way too much credit. It's supposed to be this like unique twist, maybe. That like right now it starts bad, but then we need to do this. We need to have the standards. We need to do this. Bring back some of the military. Maybe they'll do that, guys. I don't think they will. Mm-mm. Um, you wrote it better than I could, and this was explained in the first episode when the Chancellor Lady, not on a name basis yet, lol, accepted the boy without taking any test. As an older, as another person or poster said to BF, this is the first class in over 100 years. The old traditions and renowned Starfleet is out the window, but I do agree that line was groaner. If it was said by an alien made of rock like the one from TOS, then it would be much funnier. At least had made some more sense. I just don't know why it's just hating on the old institution. Just again, like just another, yes, hating on the establishment. Yes. Okay, so let's see what this one is. What's up with Mr. Blondie of War College smiling and really seeming to get a kick out of everything happening around him? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In that third episode, I'm wondering if the Klingon and that dude are gay. Just giving me the vibe, man. I could just the way that he was being overly nice to the Klingon, and I don't think it was like him being like reassuring or comforting, right? Like it wasn't like a, hey, dude, you're okay, man. Like shit happens. Don't worry about it. It was like, oh, really? That's really interesting. Tell me more. And I'm like, It's like, what are we doing here? Some weirdo said hot for Jaden. I legit thought he was a little interested. And then, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that person's not kidding either. I think he's being serious too. I hope he knows what he's in for. Klingons aren't easy going on in the mental slab. They are quite extreme lovers. What are we talking about here? Like, this is what I mean, dude. I don't know. Jay seems to be the gentle sort in a good way. Unfortunately, he's missing the guy's obvious signals. Kyle. Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, straight and narrow, which he does not appear to be. Damn it, Kyle. I think he rounds out the War College a bit more. They're not all assholes with occasional Bastoids cameo. Betazoid. Did I say Bastoids? Am I thinking Pokemon? Betazoid cameo. I also think he has the hots for Jaden and some sort of mirrors him. Expected to be aggro because of the reputation, but just wants to live a valiant life. He's having a great time. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That it's just again. You see what I'm saying about the point? I think one of the microphones was set up wrong during the gym scene at the Star. A little funnier that the commander, Luca Thok, spoke. Don't care. Yeah, the audio was really bad. Like, I'm not going to lie. You could not hear the Klingon guy at all. He was like, talking like this. And I'm like, dude, you can't even understand him at all. Yeah, why is Raimi mixing a protein shake in the opening? Replicators are not working. Yeah, maybe it's just his ritual, guys. Come on. We all need a protein shake. If they don't mechanize warp core pajamas, they're morons. I want a set. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's a lot of brand placement with this shit. Alright, let's see what this is. I'll be damned, Starfleet Academy is actually watchable. Gap. I didn't have high expectations after the heap of garbage that was Section 31, but after the two first episodes of SFA, so far it's not bad. Interesting characters, fresh content, stories have me wanting more. I can very much disagree with that. As a casual fan who grew up on TNG, it's got me more invested in the current era than anything Discovery did. Give me a maximum warp on post-burn Trek. Explore the new state of the galaxy. Loving the tone and character so far. Oh my god, I'm like, what? No. As a hardcore fan who has been watching as long as you, agreed, said this is another thread. Paramount's marketing team needs to be sacked for how they set the expectations of the One Trek Hill, Starfleet 9021 aesthetic they want to promote material. I agree that they leaned too hard into the marketing angle. As soon as I saw the college recruitment poster parody joke went over everyone's head, they should have pivoted at least a bit. Us nerds are always going to tune in. Maybe they convince some of the CW fans to give it a try. No, because at least Superman and Lois was at least a little better. Was not a little. It was way better than this. And if you want to talk about Smallville, Smallville was better than what this was trying to be. So I just no. The Next Generation is great. I love The Next Generation. I don't believe there's anything post-Burn right. Anything in this from Discovery and onward has just been horrible and needs to be canon and deleted and forgotten that it's ever existed. Probably the same marketing team as Transformers 1. That one could be... Transformers 1 I actually heard was decent. It just did not... Like I said, marketing just did not do well. They went full competence porn, and I'm here for it. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's weird. Was any surprised at this was all the things that would bring back competence porn, to be honest. I'm just trying to watch Star Trek. I just really am. It's also giving us a good Captain Nala Ake, Nala, whatever the fuck her name is. No. Yes, one of the things I wanted Discovery to focus on after the burn was rebuilding on the Federation. Instead, they chose another apocalyptic situation affecting the galaxy. See, I didn't even know that because I stopped watching it. Discovery threw all the potential out the window, while Academy has weird quirks, like trying to build a connection between characters on some trauma, which isn't hitting hard because of how quickly and random it's been shoehorned in. The world building and expansion is very promising. I disagree. I'm excited to see where things will go. I am not. I will not be watching. Yes, post-burn is very interesting world, and I love to see Discovery led this here. No, I say the worst thing they could have ever done. Lessons learned from Star. This is probably the one I'm going to end on, right? Because what are we looking at? We're looking at 40 minutes. I'm wasting way too much of your time. Now that I've caught up with the SFA episodes, I hit interwebs. I was kind of amused to see that there seemed to be no consensus on the thumbs up or down for the new series. I think, yeah, because I think there's enough delusional, stupid fans, no offense, that just enjoy this crap and this slop that we get, and then everyone else that's just normal has to pretty much suffer through it. Even if I'm wrong about that, I immediately noticed that some of the common gripes from the previous new Trek that seem to have been actively getting addressed. Okay, yes, we're really just talking about the disco. Maybe we can at least come to some consensus on what SFA is getting right. Here are some of my ideas. The stakes aren't galactic. So far, we have a ship battle, diplomatic tensions, prank war, no sign of anything existential. Sorry guys, I can't read right now. To everyone and everywhere. And yet, I'm still able to root for these characters. Go figure. Caleb Mir is not the center of everything. In fact, between Mir and Ake, because I'm thinking of a soccer player like that, his name is Ake, Nathaniel Ake, I'm not sure who I say is more main character material. We have the makings of a decent ensemble. I hope they spread it around even more. I just don't like... Yes, I don't mind having an ensemble of characters, but we do get the kind of like pick and point who's going to be a little bit of the lead, who's going to be kicking the show forward. I don't want it to just be the everybody show. It's stupid. No one's crying much. I mean, yeah, there's already been multiple yelling scenes of like, they got to have a woman yelling somewhere. I get the criticism against some of the tone genuinely, but I'm glad that we have emotional beats instead of beatdowns. Even in some of the SNW episodes, I can get swamped in darkness and despair. Maybe they're yet to come with SFA, but so far it feels like emotions are balanced and neutral. If anything, the tone overall reminds me most of the Prodigy and IMO. That's a good thing. Have the showrunners actually been learning? What else do you think I'm missing? Okay, you have great points here. It feels like the actual ensemble, and I'm relieved that the stakes aren't new galaxy-ending threat every week. Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be, right? But it needs to be Star Trek related. I want it to be within the universe and the show. Even if the through lines with Caleb's mom isn't overwhelming, yeah, that's really just a stupid. I need to find my mom. I need to find your mom. Your mom was somewhere else on the planet. She's gone. She left the jail, and then they incorporate earlier with the evil guy, and he's like, I know where your mom is. And you're like, what are we fucking... You're like, oh my god. You're like, is this really what I wasted my life on? Disco basically had to reboot itself in season 3 because the show it wanted to be did not belong in the prequel timeline. What I appreciate about STA is that it's the first series to be natively set in the 32nd century, so I hope it really makes a good use of the setting. I also have a good feeling about the series despite some annoyances, but I also don't find anything totally deal breaker. I hope the show is episodic in nature and becomes rewatchable in the future. This isn't about you, Caleb, was everything. Yeah, we know. My only complaint about the show so far is the language. The amount of casual swearing is just on Star Trek. I agree. I agree. It doesn't make sense. Honestly, though, some of my biggest complaint, I can't get past it, lol. I appreciate that they're trying something beyond the ship-size crew dynamic. It's a big universe. I appreciate the stories that they're not 100% on the ship/station. I'm okay with that, too. I preferred a lot of the off-world stuff when they did that in the show in Next Generation. Like, there's a lot of great ship stuff, but I loved it when they actually visited and explored new worlds and did dynamics. I get it. See, people complain about the swearing. So yeah, overall, I don't. Let me end this short. I do not want to waste any more of your guys' lovely time. So we got to a point where this is what we're gonna get. You either like it or you don't. I personally can't take time watching that, and I don't expect you guys taking time watching that. I really kind of just ranted all my points on what I really wanted to talk about today. Yeah, the captain I wasn't a fan of. Most of the show I really didn't find entertaining. I'm definitely sound like a professional D1 hater, but that's just really what it is. It's bad. It's not good. I don't even think it's worth the hate watch, to be honest with you guys. There's plenty of things you can watch that if you would rather do that with your life. So, yeah, that's the new Star Trek. Trek. I did it. Trek. I tried this episode. I was really mental with it. So please forgive me. I was really hoping for this series to be good so we can talk about it more. Don't think it's gonna hit. Maybe I'll look into the next episode if it comes out, but I really don't want to. Because part of me is just curious to see if it's gonna. Because part of me wants to hate watch. I do like hate watching, but I just don't think this is gonna be it. I don't. But that's it. That's the episode. So if you guys like watching more of these style reviews, I try to make them unique and do new things with them. Drop a like below. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, please put in the comments section below. Follow me on my socials. Subscribe if you like these videos. And yeah, that's about it. Peace out. Be safe. Be good. Have a good one. Don't do anything stupid. Toodaloo.